Germany just won EuroBasket and had an amazing year. They had Dennis Schroeder as the MVP, Franz Wagner, and a guy named Isaac Bonga who's hoping to make his NBA return. Welcome back to No Bias Hoops. Today, we're talking about the Germany EuroBasket team, why they were so good, and what's next for their players in the NBA. So Germany was able to advance to the finals after beating streaking hot Finland with Lauri Markkanen. They were able to handle business there and then pretty easily beat Turkey with Alperen Sengun. The team was really, really good this year. After putting on a few good teams in the past, the team is great this year, okay? They have Dennis Schroeder as their MVP, Franz Wagner as an all-star good player for them, and Isaac Bonga, who had a really, really good season in EuroBasket and is looking to make his NBA return. Isaac Bonga was formerly in the NBA, went overseas, and had an amazing year for Germany, and now NBA teams are looking at him. However, because of the timing of his NBA out contract in Europe, he will not be able to sign with the team till the summer of 2027, meaning that Bonga probably won't get an NBA opportunity unless he's able to continue this. Then you have Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder is very, very good. He averaged about 20 points per game, 10 assists, and then you have the real question of why isn't Dennis Schroeder like this in the NBA? Dennis Schroeder recently signed a contract with the Sacramento Kings, and people are wondering why he can't play like this in the NBA, and the truth is, he can. On Brooklyn, before he got traded, he was averaging similar stats, and I think the reason is he isn't a number one scorer, but when put into that opportunity, he can be, and he can play really well. But since he doesn't get that chance in the NBA because he isn't a top 3 player on the court usually, he isn't as good for NBA teams such as the Sacramento Kings. Then you have Franz Wagner. Franz Wagner had an amazing year for Orlando last year, and this year I predict him to be an all-star. And in a bad Eastern Conference, my 3 favorites are the Atlanta Hawks, the New York Knicks, and the Orlando Magic. I really like the Orlando Magic. Paolo had a breakout season last year, and he could be even better this year. They traded for Desmond Bane, who's really, really, really good. They have Jalen Suggs, and when he's healthy, is kind of the heart of this offense for Orlando. And really, the Magic have no reason to not be great this season. The Orlando Magic were solid last year, but still haven't won a playoff series with this core. This is their year. The East is bad. There's multiple injured stars. A lot of players have been traded to the West. So it just makes a ton of sense for Orlando to be good this year. And while I do think New York is definitely better, and I honestly think Atlanta's better, I really like Atlanta. But I think the Orlando Hawks are going to be special this year, and we saw a glimpse of that with Franz Wagner for this team. What this means is that with Germany's win, it kind of makes players' trade value higher. And we saw that mostly for Lauri Markkanen. I made a video on him. He was dominating for Finland, and yes, they lost, but Lauri Markkanen was really, really, really good. And it kind of skyrocketed trade rumors, trade value. And teams are going to be looking at Lauri again. I don't think he will be traded until the trade deadline. But Lauri Markkanen is incredible. And him playing this well in EuroBasket really helped his trade value and his value as an NBA player. And I think that does the same here, right? There's no world where Orlando's shopping around Franz Wagner right now. And with Dennis Schroeder just recently signing his contract, it doesn't do a ton. However, it could mean that they get bigger roles with their teams. And Franz Wagner is the number 2 on the Magic, and that's not going to change. However, Dennis Schroeder was signed to be the starting point guard in Sacramento after them trading De'Aaron Fox. So we could see another breakout year for Dennis Schroeder, right? If he was able to do that for the Brooklyn Nets, now he can do it for the Kings with better teammates, and while they might not be very good because the West is, again, jam-packed, Dennis Schroeder can really up his value, really play well for the Sacramento Kings team, and be a true impact player for the Kings. EuroBasket was extremely fun to watch. Turkey was also really good with Alperen Sengun, Greece with Giannis, Slovenia with Luka, and Serbia with Jokic. All teams were fun to watch, and I just think that this NBA season is going to be epic, right? You're going to have a major battle in the West, and then you're going to get to see a lot of new faces in the East, because when you have a lot of bad teams, a lot of new players get opportunities to prove themselves, and there's always going to be a few breakout candidates, and that's going to be fun to watch in the East. And then in the West, you're going to pretty much have an end of an era. Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, that era is ending, fading out. James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, we'll see what happens with that whole situation. But it's going to be super fun to watch over there, combined with young stars like Luka Doncic, Anthony Edwards, John Morant. And you're going to have Cooper Flag, Victor Wembanyama. The West is loaded, and the thing is, that's not going to change. So that's going to really hurt rebuilding teams like the Jazz, the Pelicans, the Blazers, because it's going to be hard for them to exponentially get better as the West isn't slowing down at all. Then you have the Josh Giddey situation, signs a 4-year, $100 million deal with the Chicago Bulls. I do not like this for Chicago. Again, they outbid themselves just like they did with Patrick Williams. And yes, Josh Giddey had a very good end of the season with the Bulls. You have that iconic game winner versus the LA Lakers. However, I don't know that Giddey is even a number 3 or a 4 on a playoff team. And that sounds crazy because he was that for the Thunder. But there's a reason the Thunder traded him. He doesn't fit a team that wins because he is a pass-first point guard, and those are slowly fading out in the NBA. They don't exist as much anymore. You know, you have players like Tyrese Halliburton, but I don't think Tyrese Halliburton is pass-first. He's a great passer. He passes a lot, but he is still the number 1 scorer other than Pascal Siakam on the Indiana Pacers. That's kind of a recap of everything that's going on in the NBA, about Team Germany, Isaac Bonga. Let me know if you like this video. Like, subscribe, comment. See you next time on No Bias News.